But we begin tonight with the brand new episode of Law and Order Presidential Edition.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
And yes, in our system, Donald Trump is innocent until proven guilty. And indeed, he has a constitutional right to remain silent. But for some reason, Trump refuses to remain silent. Instead, he literally keeps confessing to the crime of unlawfully retaining U.S. defense secrets and refusing to give them back. And he's making these confessions on the stump, on national TV, over and over and over and over again. He made his latest confession on Monday to Fox's Bret Baier.
They did ask for it.
No, and
they said, "Can you give the documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
they've never done before.
Right. And
in
but
all
why not
fairness,
just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've
according
been
to
very,
the
very
indictment,
busy.
you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things, golf shirts, clothing, pants, shoes. There were many things.
So what you're saying, man, is that you obstructed the FBI and the National Archives because you're basically a hoarder, and therefore you commingled classified documents containing our national defense and nuclear secrets with your shoes, golf clubs, and a bunch of magazine clippings and stuff? What? Look. We all know by now that Trump supporters do not care that Trump openly admitted to breaking the law. We get it. Trump good, Biden bad. It's actually easier for them to believe that Bret Baier was colluding with the Department of Justice to entrap poor Mr. Trump into telling the truth. Well, for most of the folks living in the real world, however, Monday night's admission was not some innocuous thing. In fact, most normal people who heard his comments recognized them as highly incriminating. This latest on-air confessional also had the amazing effect of bringing conservative, moderate, and liberal minds together to all agree that Trump's legal strategy is horse poop and gobbledygook.
His answers on the matters of the law seemed to me to verge on incoherent. He seemed to believe that the documents were his, that he had declassified them, evidence to the contrary, and therefore he could do whatever he wanted with them, which I don't think is going to hold up in court.
While Trump was ignoring his Miranda rights, his former attorney general and DOJ fixer William Barr was giving America a preview of the prosecution's takedown of Trump's case. In an opinion piece, the man who desperately wants to rewrite his reputation from Trump's paid goon at DOJ to someone who actually recognizes reality writes, Trump is a deeply flawed, incorrigible man who frequently brings calamity on himself and the country through his dishonesty and self-destructive recklessness. His handling of these documents in bathrooms and ballrooms at Mar-a-Lago was lawless and exposed the country to intolerable risk. The government had every right, indeed had no choice, but to retrieve this material. And finally, Barr drives a stake into the Republican argument that it is a double standard, writing, if Trump engaged in the kind of brazen criminal conduct alleged, then applying the law in his case is not unfair to him. The injustice lies in not having applied it 7 years ago. Oh, here we go. To Hillary. You don't rectify that omission by giving future violators a free pass. Yeah, okay, Barr. First of all, he forgot to add, and I'm still going to vote for him if he's runs for president again. Yeah, look, we still remember how you lied about the Mueller report and how you used the DOJ to go after Trump's perceived enemies. But, good talk. And unlike most people, Trump doesn't have the capacity to look at himself in the mirror and think, hey, it's me. I'm the problem. And like any good episode of Law and Order, cornered suspects often turn on each other. Two sources tell Rolling Stone that in recent weeks, several lawyers and confidants had already discussed their unconfirmed suspicions with Trump that Mark Meadows, his former chief of staff, is being very useful to the feds in order to reduce Meadows' own possible legal exposure. Two other people familiar with the matter say. One source told Rolling Stone that some of Trump's longtime allies and close advisors have taken to sardonically referring to Meadows by using the rat emoji in their private conversations. Meow. We reached out to Mark Meadows through his lawyer, but they were not offering comment on the report. Surprise, surprise. Joining me now are two former federal prosecutors, Renato Mariotti, legal affairs columnist for Politico magazine, and Glenn Kirshner, MSNBC legal analyst. Glenn, I'm going to go to you first. Notwithstanding Barr's attempt to also indict Hillary Clinton, who was already cleared by the DOJ, what do you make of his argument that, yeah, Donald Trump did it, he said he did it, he said he wasn't going to give the documents back, and he's in trouble?
Yeah, I am loath to agree with Bill Barr, but he's right. And, I'm going to say something, Joy, that I'm not sure anybody has ever said before. Sometimes the federal rules of evidence can be a beautiful thing, because what Donald Trump is saying may be admissible in the court of public opinion. But here's the beauty of the rules of evidence. Those statements that he's making, into faux news networks, and he's posting on his third-rate social media platform, anything that incriminates him is admissible evidence if the prosecutors try to introduce it at trial. But everything that he says that exonerates him, things like I declassified them with my mind, the Presidential Records Act lets me take everything, et cetera, none of that is admissible by Donald Trump's attorneys. So the prosecutors can put in all the good incriminating stuff, but Donald Trump's attorneys can put none of his BS before the jury. The only way that jury will get to hear what Donald Trump was thinking about declassifying documents, or whether the Presidential Records Act let him take documents, is if Donald Trump takes the stand at trial and testifies. And we all know how that would end for Donald Trump.